Thank you for joining us once again today. I'll talk about our solution for schools. My name is Dan Machese or Machese Dan Machese, and I'll be your guide through this. We have a package for the schools, and quickly I'll take you through. This is our login screen. You put in the credentials for the login, whether it's a staff member or someone in the account section, or even a teacher or the DOS, Director of Studies. So we log in from that same menu, and then it gives you ability to do the tasks of your job description. So when you log in, you'll find those several menus. One talks about administration, academics, accounts, reports, new curriculum, and utility. Those are the menus you can interact with. Today, I'll interact with a few to show you or give you a feel of the system. And so I'll go to administration and then I click students. Now here you can enter biodata of the student like I'm doing right there. And you can finish the biodata by attaching the photo of the student because it is important on the report cards and maybe other documents like an ID, like I'll show later on. You can even generate an ID from here, by the way. And so from here, you click on save, and then it will be able to save the details of that particular student. And you can search the student. And so I can go through the other menus. For example, there are several things you can do with a student, like adding school requirements to that student. You can also add payments. Today I'll concentrate so much on the accounts. You can go to the accounts and add a payment, or you receive money, or you receive a bank slip through that. You search the student, and once the student comes up, you put the amount they have paid or the amount they have given you or the amount on the bank slip. Then you choose the payment mode and add the transaction number. Then you tell us what they are paying for. If it's admission, you choose admission. If it's tuition, you choose tuition. And then you can go ahead and say paid by. You add who has paid for purposes of tracking. Then you can save the transaction, and your transaction will be saved there. And so you can even print a receipt by double clicking, and that is the receipt. It shows you the tuition, and then it shows you the amount paid. I'll explain a little more about this later on. I can add another student, and then we can do several other transactions with that other student. So I click new, and I add the new student. So I'll save. So let me go and add some school requirements to this student. So I go to account, or rather administration, school requirements, and then I search the student. And then I can start attaching the requirements. Admission, I attach, they have to pay for admission, they have to pay for school uniform. Maybe you have several types of uniforms, then they have to pay the tuition. So when you save, those particular amounts go to that student and they are required to pay them. And so let's imagine you have added those requirements and the student has come maybe with some 300,000 or 320. So I'll search the student, and then maybe I can begin with admission, and then I put the amount they have paid for admission, 20,000. And then I choose cash. I put a transaction ID, and then I can put who paid, and then I can save. Now, if they have given me a lump sum of about 300,000 and I want to allocate it for the various things they are paying for at once, I can put that 300 at once. Maybe we can view the receipt for this. And so that's the receipt for the first one. So I can go back and I enter a new payment. Maybe the 300 needs to be split across several items. So I select the name of the student, and then I'll put the amount paid, which is 300,000. Then I'll select the payment mode. This time around, let me select bank. Then transaction ID, I put it there. Then I'll select what they are paying for. So I'll select uniform first, and then I say multiple payment for, and I add. Then I say they are paying 35,000 for uniform. Then I say the rest is going for tuition. So the rest is about 265. I put it on tuition. Then I'll save. Then it will tell me it has saved successfully. So once I double click to view that receipt, it says I've paid 265 for tuition, 35,000 for school uniform, total 300, balance 360. Now there are several other reports we can view from here in accounts. So I'll go to reports, then accounts, then I can go to the daily transactions. But first, let's go to the student statement. If I select the date, maybe from first up to now, and I select the student name. So I select the student name and I click generate record. And so it pulls for me the records on how they have paid and what is due and what they were exactly paying for. I'll get back to this later. And so we can go back to reports, accounts, and we can go to daily collections. So daily collections, you select a particular date and it will pull for you records of how much was collected on that particular day, the receipt numbers, and who actually paid, and the transaction numbers. It groups for you according to cash, banked, in kind, and so on and so forth. And finally, the last report is of daily expenditure. I'll talk about for now. So I also select the date, which is today, and then right there I can see all my expenditures. Unfortunately, I have not entered any. I can go and enter it under accounts and then petty cash expenditure. So maybe teachers wanted transport or something like that. I select petty cash, I put the requisition number, I put the it's for transport, so I add, then I put the amount, maybe 15,000, and I put requested by, and I can attach the form they have used, and then I save. So you can attach the form as evidence. So finally, when I go back to reports and then I check on expenditure, it will tell me how much has been spent on that particular day. Thank you very much. I'll be posting more as we go on.